Here we go again. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Den of Nerds. I am Josh, and we have a fantastic show for you today. As always, a lot of interesting things going on out there in the nerdy world. Crazy stuff. We're going to talk about Minecraft. It's changing the game. It's changing movies. It's changing. Things are gonna change, so we want to talk about that. We're gonna talk about how much money it made. We need to discuss what it means for the industry. Chicken jockeys every goddamn where, basically. It's just chicken jockeys for days, throwing popcorn, doing all sorts of ridiculous stuff, man. So we'll talk about it. We're gonna get into that. That's awesome. I also need to discuss a horror project coming to Star Wars. Tony Gilroy been out there talking about Andor Season 2, which is right around the corner, for those of you that are excited about that. And he's talking about a horror project. Horror in Star Wars. Wow. So we're gonna break that down. I'm sure you have some thoughts, and you know I've got some thoughts. And that'll take us into a little bit of a discussion about the soul, the essence, if you will, of Star Wars. Possibly up for grabs, possibly being debated behind the scenes right now at Lucasfilm. I don't know. We'll discuss. I also want to talk about the Fantastic Four promotion. Man, is this marketing genius, or do we not know what we're doing here? This is crazy, man. I'm getting real nervous, man. I don't know about you guys. I'm getting real nervous when it comes to the Fantastic Four. I think Thunderbolts is, unless something miraculously happens, Thunderbolts is cooked. I mean, it just is. It's cooked. Fantastic Four, though, I really thought was not cooked and would be performing really well. I'm starting to have some concerns, and partially because of the promo, partially because of some of the leaks that are out there. It's wow, what an interesting time. So we'll discuss the Fantastic Four marketing as well. I want to talk about leaks, man. Some leaked photos over the weekend, but were all of them fake? Is this the new thing? Is this how the studios are going to hide fakes? They're going to make fake leaks that are really good? I don't know. It's crazy. We'll discuss it because there was a series of leaks that came out that are very questionable. And then there's another leak for RDJ Dr. Doom, which, I cannot believe people actually think is real. But then again, Minecraft's the #1 movie, so we're gonna break it all down. I don't know, maybe I'm just losing it, but it certainly feels like things are wild out there in the world. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. We'll discuss all of it, and then later on in the show too, I want to talk about Marathon. You know, this is Bungie's new game. It premiered over the weekend. There was a big event on Saturday, and frankly, people are really mixed on Marathon, which I find pretty interesting. So, we discussed it a good bit last week. I was there watching everything go down on Saturday. I actually think it looks cool, and I'm excited about Marathon. But, man, a lot of people hating. And it's an interesting topic, so I want to see what you guys think about that. I'll, of course, give my take, why I actually think it looks good. But at the end of the day, man, it's one of those things where, just like in Hollywood, a lot of the traditional gatekeepers and the AAA studios and the big publishers and all of that, it does seem like there's an attitude from a lot of consumers that, that's not really where the juice is at. And frankly, there are a lot of other games out there that are free to play or that are indie that have more features, that are maybe more complete. It's a wild discussion out there when it comes to games, consumers, and all of that. So we'll get into that towards the end of the stream. A lot of little news bits, nothing huge. There's no real earth-shattering, crazy news going on out there. But we will get into all these different topics and then break into Q&A later on in the show. As far as show notes are concerned for this week, the only thing really on your radar is going to be tomorrow night. We will do the watch party, the last watch party ever for the Den of Nerds. I'm not doing it. I decided I'm not even going to do it for Ahsoka Season 2. I'm not doing watch parties anymore. I'm never doing watch parties ever again. And we could talk about that later on. Maybe we could talk about it tomorrow or whatever. But tomorrow, We're going to watch the last episode of Daredevil Born Again together, and I'm absolutely certain it will actually be an action-packed episode, and I think I'm really gonna like it. You know, we're gonna do this again. I think I'm gonna like it. So we'll get into it, and yeah, tomorrow should be really cool. And then Wednesday night, we're gonna do a Nerdvenger stream, but it's gonna be just a little bit more casual. I want to do Q&A and just hang out a little bit and catch you guys up on some stuff that's happening behind the scenes. But I also want to gauge interest and discuss the possibility of a Marvel Rivals Nerdvengers tournament, something where we will put together some teams for within the community and dedicate a Saturday to a big tournament where we have multiple games and there's a winner and there's prizes and stuff like that. So I think the first step will be just having a discussion about that, gauging interest, talking about rules, logistics, etc. So we'll do that this Wednesday. That'll be at 7:30. If you're a member, either here on Twitch, come on by for that, and we will break all of that down and start moving that forward, because I don't think Marvel Rivals is going anywhere. Very popular game, releasing a ton of content. Season 2's great, by the way. I played a bunch of it over the weekend, had a great time. I wonder if any of you did. So yeah, Marvel Rivals, the future is bright, and I want to kind of get us in on that and have a little bit of a beautiful community tournament. Other than that, guys, I gotta be honest, I had a fantastic weekend. I hope you had a great weekend. I was pretty checked out from YouTube work and stuff like that. You know, last week was an exhausting and triggering week, just with some of the news that was going on out there. So I took a little break and just hung out a little bit more with the family, and, you know, played some games, played some Warhammer, just generally chilled. And man, it was great. You know, I after the weekend, I thought to myself, man, I could use a whole week of this, actually. And I considered taking all of this week off, but I decided not to. It's just, either way, I'm feeling good, feeling refreshed, but like, damn, it was nice to be a normal person. The fights Saturday night were absolutely incredible. And without boring some of you to death, because some of you don't care about that kind of stuff, you know, for the longest time, I have been rooting for the old guys in the UFC. And that's because I'm an old guy, and I've watched a lot of these guys as I've become an old guy, and they all just get beat up. So the journeyman, the way it works in the UFC is, as you start to get washed and become old, they use the name you've built over your career to build up the young guys. And so they'll feed you to these hungry young fighters, and usually it's terrible. The older fighters are getting annihilated out there. But there's one among the old dudes that's actually truly great, and that would be Alexander Volkanovski. And it was incredible to watch that fight Saturday night and to see the first guy over the age of 35 win a undisputed world title. I thought he looked really good, and I'm excited to see more from Volk. Volk's just an incredible human being, and obviously one of the best fighters we've ever seen. And so that was great. That was really cool. Shout out to Patty the Batty, too. I think shutting up a lot of critics and doing his thing. So overall, yeah, that was awesome. So had a good weekend, just kind of chilling out. Really enjoyed the fights. Really enjoyed my time with family. And I hope you had a little bit of that action as well. Okay, with all that said, it's time, baby. Let's get into the news. And let's begin by talking about Minecraft. Oh, my. How many of you went out and saw Minecraft again this weekend? Just be honest with me. How many of you went out there and saw Minecraft again? Put a 1 into the chat. I want to know who to blame. I want to know who to blame. I see a couple ones. I see a couple of ones. Okay, so what am I talking about here? Minecraft continues to dominate the worldwide box office. It earned $80.6 million in the film's second domestic weekend, a 50.5% drop. The film now passed 550 million worldwide. Couple other really interesting statistics here. This is from Luis Fernando. Minecraft movie crosses 550 mark and beats Warcraft's 439 and Detective Pikachu's 450 and Sonic the Hedgehog's 3's 491.6 as the number 2 highest grossing game adaptation ever at the global box. I almost can't believe it, even as I'm reading it. A strong 79.6 overseas on the second weekend in a 47.2% drop as Jason Momoa and Jack Black reach a 269.6 million cum over 74 markets, allied to its 281 in the U.S., 550 global, eyeing an 880 to 950 global run. My God. So that's pretty crazy. This thing continues to do insane business. And I actually wouldn't be surprised. You know, look, obviously all of these analysts are practiced and they know a lot of stuff. They're calculating in ways that, you know, I cannot. But I would just say this. I wouldn't be surprised if it does even more than this. I mean, it just depends on how long the meme stays alive, right? Because frankly, this film has tapped into that meme energy, that like TikTok energy, and it is doing things. I don't know if you have seen the videos online, but I mean, I've seen the most absurd and ridiculous things, you know, people jumping all over each other, throwing popcorn all over the place. I saw somebody doing completely inappropriate things to the stand-up poster with Steve, and it's just, the movie is not just a movie that's getting out there and crushing it in the box office. It has this weird place in the zeitgeist right now, and it's like all the shit posters and all the meme lords and just, I don't know. I mean, the generation that got left behind, they now have the Minecraft movie, and they're letting it be known, you know, just I guess how much business other industries and IP are missing out on, because holy shit, this is absolutely crazy. So it's very successful. It's actually making more money domestically than overseas, which is kind of wild and rare these days. Second highest video game adaptation ever in 2 weeks. I mean, I don't know. How many other headlines do you need? This thing is out of fucking control. And the thing that is wild, of course, is we're still in a world where Marvel can't make any goddamn money. So close so far. This is Luis Fernando here. I got a thing pulled up about Captain America Brave New World. So close yet so far. Captain America Brave New World suffers a major blow from exhibitors at the U.S. box office, losing insane minus 1.310 theaters. I don't know, 1,300 theaters. Delaying it from crossing $200 million this weekend. So it couldn't even get over $200 million domestic in its 9th weekend. Like, this is crazy. It grows 342,000 on 9th 3-day weekend, dropping a harsh 75% from last weekend. Now playing in just 440 theaters. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. It's so bad. It's so bad. And as we've been discussing, it looks like Thunderbolts is not going to do much better. I mean, Thunderbolts is tracking lower than Captain America Brave New World. And like I said at the top of the show, man, I'm starting to get nervous even about the Fantastic Four. You know, I don't know. I don't know if cape shit is just out or if people are that angry with Marvel. But, man, the fact that this Minecraft movie is blowing up and Captain America Brave New World is bombing is just such a crazy juxtaposition to actually have in the theaters. They're doing a sequel to Minecraft right now. It probably saved Abdi and DeLuca's jobs over at Warner Brothers. Like, what a world, man. Like, what a world that the narrative has kind of flipped. Warner Brothers is, I mean, that you cannot deny the success of the Minecraft thing. And Marvel's over here, like, in what feels like a complete and total tailspin. And Mamma Mia. I don't even know really what to say about it other than like this is history happening right in front of our eyes. This might literally be the cape shit going away and the video game stuff being embraced. Like we might be seeing that in real time, right? So fascinating. And I don't know, man. I mean, I'm still not convinced that I should see the Minecraft movie. But social proof is strong. I mean, the more money this movie makes, the sequel's popping off. I mean, depends on who they get to play the female character in the next one. And it's not, I mean, I like Momoa and Jack Black. I mean, I can't believe it, but I will probably check this out when it comes to streaming at the very least. And then if I really enjoy it, I mean, I like a good time at the theater as much as anybody. Maybe when the second movie rolls out, I'm in a theater doing chicken jockey shit. I don't know. It's just a really bizarre time right now. And so I thought it would be worth going over these numbers and just talking about the absolute dominance. And again, I will say, I still think it could actually make $1 billion and even do more than that because of the meme and just because of that sort of energy. I mean, man, this is like some GameStop energy. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if you can capture that energy, and you know, over the weekend there was a religious movie released from Angel Studios, and this movie did a similar thing to the Sound of Freedom thing, where you could like donate tickets to kids, and it feels so like weird and gimmicky and like not authentic. But here's the thing: I think if you're being honest about the marketplace right now, and you can see all this anti-Disney energy, because I mean, truly, the amount of anti-Disney sentiment is crazy. Like, it's really wild. It's an absolute factor out there in the marketplace. Some people support other movies just to hurt Disney. Like, that's how bad it is. So you think about that and you're like, wow, I mean, what is the GameStop thing and the Sound of Freedom thing and this new movie? Forgive me, I don't even know what it's called. What do they all have in common? Well, they've allowed you to monetize your anger. Or they're monetizing your anger is actually the more accurate way to say it. People want to spend their money in a way that makes an impact a statement and goes further than just like a purchase, right? So all of these factors are all coming together in really interesting ways. And basically what I'm saying is, I think if the people that really like Minecraft decide that it would be a hilarious meme to make this one of the most successful movies of all time and just, you know, take what little money they have and just keep buying tickets, that could absolutely happen. Like, that is something we see nowadays with consumer behavior. People will literally put their money where their mouth is, and that's a big motivating factor on some of this behavior. So I don't know. We're going to keep an eye on it. It's insane. I mean, Jack Black literally went to a theater and scolded the audience as far as like, stop throwing popcorn, no chicken jockey, I am Steve kind of stuff. Like, you've got, like, that's how wild it is. And I'm telling you, look at some of the videos out there with Minecraft. It's clearly not just a movie. This is not just a movie. This is I dare say, a fucking movement. They have captured a windfall of some kind. And God, man, I don't know. As an old guy, I am shocked. I'm a little concerned. I don't know what this world's coming to. But we're going to go through it together either way. So that's the first story as far as Minecraft and the craziness that is. Okay, so definitely want to know your thoughts when we get into Q&A. Should be a fun time. Now let's talk about Star Wars, man. Oh, man, this one's gonna divide people, man. This one's gonna divide people, I feel. Tony Gilroy says Lucasfilm has a Star Wars horror project in the works. Wow. Just out of curiosity, before I give my analysis, chat, how many of you like that? Because I know some of you will. So if you think this is great or you're excited, throw a 1 into the chat. And, you know, it's all good. We're going to probably be on separate sides of this, but it's becoming more and more clear to me that Star Wars really isn't for me anymore. And you know, look, I'm really excited for Ahsoka season 2, and I'm old school, and I want all the, you know, the Dave stuff, the mystical stuff. That's where my love and heart is at. But at the end of the day, like, Star Wars is not. They just don't care about me. You know, they clearly, as a company, do not care, and they are just targeting other kinds of people, other kinds of audiences. And at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to fight it too hard. I'm just going to kind of not watch and just give it to you guys. Like, you can have it. So let's see here. Let's go through this Business Insider article. What's the dealio here? What is he even saying? So, Andor creator Tony Gilroy says Star Wars has a Star Wars horror project in the works. Andor creator and showrunner Tony Gilroy says Disney is working on a horror project within the Star Wars universe. The showrunner briefly touched on the future of the Star Wars franchise when speaking to SFX magazine in March ahead of the final season of Andor. He joked and he said he'd like to see a 3-camera sitcom in Star Wars or a horror movie. Gilroy spoke to Business Insider on the Andor Season 2 red carpet in London on Thursday. Asked what he would do with a Star Wars horror project, he said, Lucasfilm and Disney already have one in development. They're doing that. I think they're doing that. I think that's in the works. Yeah. Disney did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Gilroy didn't say whether the project was a TV show or a movie. He also clarified his previous comments. I'm agnostic about what should be done. I was riffing on the thing where I said, oh, do a 3-camera sitcom. So I was riffing. Sometimes riffing doesn't work within the Star Wars community. No shit. Referring to Andor, Gilroy says, the right creator and the right moment and the right vibe, you can do anything. So my hope is that the show connects, and then we pass along the favor of what we were given from The Mandalorian. And we can pass along a good, healthy backwind to someone else who wants to do something else cool. Sure. Okay, so he was riffing, but he did say it's actually in the works. Now, horror in Star Wars is not... They're not complete strangers. I mean, there was the Death Trooper, the word Death Trooper, which eventually is adapted for like the all black sort of special forces armor wearing troopers that are first introduced in Rogue One, I believe. That's the Death Trooper. But where the Death Trooper originally comes from was, I believe, a novel that was a horror novel, and it was like a zombie thing with stormtroopers. So the stormtroopers were becoming zombies. Those were the Death Troopers, okay? And of course, Star Wars, you know, when it was at its maybe biggest, there were a lot of offshoot ideas, concepts, and even genres within Star Wars. So the expanded universe was that. It encompassed all of those sort of things and those different ideas. And I think to this day, that's why some Star Wars fans are actually a little bit more accepting of even Andor or some of the more mature things in Andor, like the big controversial thing that we've been kind of discussing over the past couple of weeks. So I totally get all of that. But I mean, again, for me, this is not it. And I mean, I am just going to have to draw the line. I'm a little bit of a purist when it comes to Star Wars. I think horror as a flavor is actually really useful within Star Wars. I think there are moments within even the original trilogy that are horrifying and that are like really dark and really scary. And I think similar things happen in the prequels. Similar things happen in Clone Wars. There is that there. And I think the dark side is a really important aspect to Star Wars in general and the sort of moral structure of what characters go through. But to say that you want to go all the way to horror, to make a horror project within Star Wars, I mean, that is like the biggest eye roll to me. That validates everything I felt about what Lucasfilm is doing. And it's simply a company that doesn't understand what they have or doesn't think that what they have is mass appeal enough, which is so weird, right? I mean, there was a time where Star Wars was, I think, one of the most attractive and sought after brands. And that, I mean, when they made Force Awakens, they literally copied George. Like, it's a almost carbon copy of like what George did. So, I mean, I don't know. Did that just not work? Because obviously they took it in a terrible direction and really, you know, messed that up. And to me, this news here with the horror Star Wars, it just feels like another sign of like the death spiral that brand is in, because they're at a place where they're trying to figure out something that'll work and connect, and they're not doing it. The two biggest departures from Star Wars are, as far as the standard formula, are probably Andor and Acolyte. And Acolyte got canceled, and Andor, I think, honestly, probably deserved to be canceled based on its season 1 numbers. They spent $700 million on this show, and I just don't think it's worth that, right? But it, at least critically, as opposed to Acolyte, was able to make some noise and, you know, make some acclaim and whatnot for the company. But I consider both of those things to be a company trying to reach out to an audience that's different than the one that came sort of caked in with the massive IP. I mean, the reason you pay $4 billion for that thing is because of all of the lives that it touched and all of the brand recognition that it has, right? So I don't know. To me, this just feels like another sign that they're sort of cooked over there, and it's just corpo thinking, you know, like, here, this genre within this thing, and it's like, what if you just made good Star Wars? Like, what if you just made good fantasy adventure Star Wars, you know? But the truth is, I can actually understand what they're doing because they have botched even that. So they have found a way to fuck up the Kenobi show, right? So even when they go to nostalgia, even when they go to the member berries, even when they go to that core audience, they're fucking it up there too. So it's like they're truly in a death spiral. And until something can really land and connect with the fans, they have no direction. My fear, and we'll see, but my fear is that, you know, maybe Andor season 2 clicks or this horror thing clicks, and then it's over. It is literally over for the purity of what I consider Star Wars to be. And I think that would be like a damn shame. So it doesn't shock me at all that that guy was riffing in that way and then said that stuff about the Star Wars horror thing. And then the last thing I'll say on this point, right, is this weekend is Star Wars Celebration. And I know there are a lot of people either there or on the way there. A lot of people really excited about Celebration. And I think that the general sense within the fandom is we're going to get some announcements, and Star Wars Celebration is always a place where you get a lot of cool hyped up stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't even think that's going to happen, guys. And part of the reason why, and I've been reporting this, is because there's a battle currently going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm. The way my source described it to me was there's an overhaul that some people badly want to happen, and then there's Kathleen Kennedy and her camp that want to act as though everything is fine, likely just to protect her legacy and to protect the assets that she built under her tenure. So if that is true, I do wonder, is this horror thing, like, what does Dave think about this? Because, you know, Christian Harloff reported that Dave Filoni came in and cut the Acolyte to pieces because it was way too dark, way more risky. It was shitting on lore even harder. And Dave came in and basically said, no, you can't do this, that, second, and the third. So I wonder, and I'd like to believe that that guy would also say, you can't have a Star Wars horror thing. You could have maybe a horrific part of a series. You could have a horrific part of a movie. You cannot have a dedicated Star Wars horror project. That is absurd. And so I would hope that that conversation is happening. And I do think this battle is currently going on for sort of the heart of what Star Wars will be. And I'm interested to see how that goes. If there is an overhaul, if I do feel like Dave has come back in and restored a little bit of order, and that we're going to go back to the mythical adventure stuff, I would be very excited. I just don't know that I can get actually hyped up now for that, right? It's more the case that I am very hopeful that that's the way this all shakes out. But we're going to have to wait and see, man. You know, we're going to have to wait and see. And so this, to me, just feels like another bit of, you know, the writing's on the wall and all of their problems are out there. The Emperor's new clothes. Like, it's so embarrassing for Star Wars and frankly for Disney. I mean, Disney's Wow. So, yeah. I mean, again, we'll get into the Q&A. I know a lot of you guys are probably like, whatever, you boomer. Minecraft's dope, and I want horror Star Wars. Well, guess what? I'm sorry. Get off my fucking lawn. But we'll talk about it in the Q&A section today. Okay, so let's keep going here. Next bit of news, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four. Chat, is this good marketing? Because the numbers are there. 67,000 likes on this. 67,000 likes. 6 million views from last night. Is this good marketing? So what am I talking about here? Especially if you're on the podcast feed, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I'm looking at the actual Twitter account for the Fantastic Four, and there is a clip, a 4-second clip from the movie. Now, to give full context here, there is, of course, a line in the trailer for the Fantastic Four where Reed Richards talks about how they always do family dinner, 7 p.m. on the dot every Sunday. And so for the past, I don't know, 6-7 Sundays, this actual account here, the Fantastic Four, has been posting stuff at 7, possibly even that very scene, every Sunday at 7 on the dot to try to create that kind of a vibe. Well, yesterday they were late. So they were like 44 minutes late. And then they posted this clip. And if you listen to it here, I'll play it here. I'll play it for you here.
You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes, we are.
You're late.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Yes.
So clever, right? Like they're late. They're actually late. They're posting the thing about being late. It's all meta, et cetera, et cetera. People went nuts for this thing, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I have some positive things to say about this clip, actually, but I just don't understand. Like, is this good marketing? I don't know, man. Like, is this just all bots? Like, I'm so shocked at like some of the stuff I'm seeing online these days. And of course, like Elon came in and he was like, Twitter should be about free speech. And then he turned it into like a back alleyway with like horrific shit everywhere you look. It is an absolute cesspool and it's horrible. But there's also something happening with like botting and things blowing up and then repeated commentary from accounts that don't look real. Like I'll give you just like one example. If we pull up on my profile here, right? So I was making fun of people for thinking that this image was real. And the amount of people, like, look at this, a glimpse of multiple dooms through the multiverse, like, that doesn't seem real. Last time Campbell posted images, maybe they're real, we shouldn't be hasty. Like, dude, some of these accounts are all saying, like, the same thing with slightly reworded, and then you go to their account, and it's, like, 0 followers, like, 0 activity. They just post, like, memes and stuff about Marvel, and I recognize the real people because a lot of you guys interact, but I'm just saying, like, I've really noticed that kind of stuff. And then also, dude, like, let's be real about a couple of things here. Like, I'll show you this, like this right here. I posted this, like, dude, there's no way that thing, like, why did that post blow up the way that it did? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then my Superman post, dude, look at this thing, 20K likes, 500,000 views. Like, it doesn't make sense. This is clearly being boosted. And it just feels like, I don't know. To me, it just feels like there's a lot of like weird activity out there on social media these days. I don't know if maybe I'm just all the way on the outside of this Fantastic Four thing, or if it's really clever marketing and it actually worked. I've been personally frustrated with the marketing of Fantastic Four. And let me tell you something. The thing that's wild about that clip is that I actually really liked the 4 seconds, mostly because Johnny seems like an actual asshole again. And of course, on Friday, there were some comments that came out. Joseph Quinn behind the scenes talking about, you know, changes they wanted to make for the modern audience with Johnny Storm. And I hate it. And I think it's cringe. But then when you see that clip, you're like, oh, okay, that's the right energy. That actually feels right for Johnny. That's good vibes. And if you see like more of that, like, I guess what I'm saying is if I'd actually seen more of Johnny being Johnny, then when the comments come out last week, late in the week, maybe they roll off a little bit easier. Because I'm not thinking to myself like, oh my fucking God, he's going to be like this. It's more like, no, he's still Johnny. He's still an asshole. They're probably just not going to have him chasing tail. And it's like, you know, do I still think that's lame? Of course. Is it going to destroy how I feel about the character in the movie? No. So I don't know, man. Like this thing, it blew up. People said it was awesome. It was trending. Does that translate to actual box office? Like, what is happening here? Because the same energy was coming out when a bunch of accounts were talking about how the Thunderbolts projections look terrible, right? The Thunderbolts movie is supposedly going to open to a lower number than Minecraft did in its second weekend domestically. And that sucks. And yet I saw all these like pro Disney accounts like chastising people and like it felt like this big organized movement where they're like, actually, that's totally fine. And then you look at the trade articles and they're all using similar diffusing language. And absolutely fine, worst summer box office opening for the Marvel. You know what I mean? And it's just like, bro, what is this like Westworld simulation like ridiculousness that is happening? Is the Fantastic Four actually doing a good job of promoting itself? Or is there trickery afoot? Are they trying to show social proof in order to try to get people to actually go out and check that movie out? I don't know. By the way, there is a full-ass plot leak out there. That's professional terminology, too, if you didn't know. There is a full-ass plot leak out there for the Fantastic Four. I'm going to read it later today, man. And apparently it sucks, and people are really mad. I'll judge it for myself. But, wow, Marvel. This is just, it's just, like, crazy, man. We are in some truly crazy times when it comes to Marvel, pop culture, all that sort of stuff. So wild stuff afoot. Now, last main topic today. And I have to ban John Exler. And you can hit me up later, John, but you know exactly why. Let's talk about this. So there is some fun leaks that are out there. Okay, fun leaks that are out there, but they might be fake. Like, okay, so let me just explain everything that's going on here. So I saw this pop up on, I think it was early Saturday, and this was a leaked set photo of James Marsden and Ian McKellen. Okay, and this thing made the rounds. A lot of people said it looks fake. I want to ask you guys, do you think this is fake? Do you think this is fake or not? I did not think, and I still don't think it's fake. Yeah, so it's weird, right? Some people definitely think it looks fake. I could kind of see parts of it maybe looking fake. You know who we really need is John Campea over here, right? We need John Campea to be checking out these wieners to see like if the lighting looks fake or whatever. Because to me, it looks totally fine. I thought it was real. And it also corresponds to this photo. Did you guys see this photo come out too? This photo was making the rounds like a couple of days earlier, strangely from the same account, possibly. And it looks like he's in the same gear here. Okay, so that all happens, right? People thought it was fake, etc., etc. Now, I guess there was a this is where this is going to go. There was a London or metro area police event, okay? An account that has like no followers and like no likes and like the history of its whole thing. But apparently it's official, and it's an account for some local offices of a police branch. They had an event over the weekend that Ian McKellen supposedly was at. So let me see if I can find this, the Ian McKellen thing, because this photo, let me see if I can find this. This photo was making the rounds. And everybody was like, that could not have been actually Magneto. Like, the first photo could not be real because Sir Ian McKellen is actually at this event. Pardon me. Let me see if I can get this pulled up for you. And there's a photo of him like with some officers and stuff like that. But as far as I understand it, nobody has confirmed. Like, this is where this all gets weird. Nobody has confirmed with this actual account that actually happened on that actual day. Okay? And so there's a bunch of ways that you could explain all of this. There's a bunch of ways that other photo could be real, and this could be real, and the timing could be off, right? But it does beg an interesting question. Is this potentially a way to start to hide these leaks? Because I know that Marvel has started to put out like fake scripts and like fake stuff like that. That was when Alex Perez had gotten tricked into thinking that Magneto was going to be in Deadpool and Wolverine, that you were going to have a fight between Wanda and Jean Grey and all that sort of stuff. So they are putting out fake stuff to try to throw people off. To my knowledge, that really only worked the one time. And now they're like kind of, the scoopers and insiders are a little bit more careful to figure it all out. But like, dude, no, as far as I know, nobody really knows what the fuck is going on. This photo could be old. Now, the account said it was that day, but how do we know it was that day? Has anybody even talked to the people that run that account? Did anybody that was at this event corroborate this? Like, what? We're just going to believe this account that has no verifiable, like, anything. And we're just going to not believe the other account. Now, look, I don't know, because the other account went dark too. They're not saying shit either. But maybe that's not even Ian McKellen. Maybe that's a body double or a stunt double. Maybe that was from a couple of weeks ago when they were doing fittings. We don't know. And everybody likes to act like they're fucking Sherlock Holmes on Twitter, and the one person says the one thing and it looks legit, and they want to feel like they're smart and debunking shit. It's just, I think we're losing, like, maybe the theme of the show today is we are losing our grip on the sense-making apparatus that used to, like, help us actually figure shit out. And I don't know, what do you call it? Maybe a post-truth era? Are we in a post-truth era? This is like, it's all shocking, and I don't really know what to make of it. But the other thing that's wild, right, is this photo. Come on, man. There's no way y'all actually believe this is real. There's no way y'all actually believe this is real. And this made the rounds just as much as that other shit. It's so absurd. So did somebody see the other photo? And did they be like, oh, okay, well, that if that thing can pop up, I could do this. And then they whip this together in Mid-Journey. They blur it out, which, like, why would the studio blur out a costume design page? It's so stupid. And this looks like Shark Boy and Lava Girl. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. How are we at a place where motherfuckers are truly believing that this is real? How? I can't, like, we're really losing something, man. We are really losing our grip on reality. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is the way to do it. Maybe, like, just flood the internet with a bunch of fake leaks and crazy shit and just overwhelm us with possibilities so we lose the ability to actually, like, make sense of all of this stuff. This one feels really weird and devious, because if you look at the accounts that are actually saying, like, again, people are, any person that tries to say this could be real, like, I have to question your intelligence. But beyond that, I have to question whether you're a real person. Like, what is this? Like, this is crazy, dude. Oh, and by the way, if this is real, I will vomit into my Doctor Doom shaped popcorn bucket, and I will walk out of the theater and I will never watch anything Marvel ever again. That's a guarantee. So if somehow this is real, it's Jover. Like, this is like, dude, my God. that is some serious bias. But luckily, I don't think it's real. I mean, the other thing that's interesting about the Johnny scene, you know, he's got that cup of water in the white t-shirt. That is literally exactly in the concept art. So, like, that concept art, and the Russos were like, that's not even from our movie. That's true, but it's from a ton of other movies. So, the Fantastic Four seems to be lining up perfectly with the concept art leaks that we had. So, I would expect Doom to look more like that actual concept art and not whatever the hell this is, you goofy motherfuckers out there. I cannot believe you got this to pop off. This is so wild to me, dude. Honestly, it doesn't even look that bad. That's what I mean. Is like, that's got to be a bot, right? Like, you cannot be a real person. There's no way. There's no way, bro. So, yeah, just another interesting weekend for us nerds, man. What a time to be alive. We're in a post-truth era. Nothing matters. It's all goobly glob. Minecraft's the #1 movie. Thunderbolts is the best, most artistic film Marvel's made in decades, and it's not going to matter. Holy shit. What a world. Okay. So, those are your main news topics today, man. I just wanted to touch on that. We'll see. I got to be honest with you. I still think the original set photo that we discussed is real. I still think it's real. I don't think anybody bothered to even reach out to these police officers or to really clock what was going on there. Yeah, I don't buy it, man. And by the way, if it is fake, incredible fake. Keep them coming. Keep us on our toes, man. Keep us on our toes. Wow, wow, wee, wah. Okay, let's break into the Q&A section of today's show. I'm sure there are a lot of different topics we went over that you might have an opinion on, a question on, or whatnot. I will go over all of the super chats, member chats, and then we'll hang out in the chat as well and just see what you guys are thinking about all of this, man. Starting off the week strong. Starting off the week strong. Javier Mendez says with a $2 holla, John is secretly a member of the 12 Avengers. No, I'm not. I think the 12 Avenger thing is stupid as fuck. Nick Steele with a $2 holla says, good morning, Josh. Hope you have a great day. Thanks, brother. Yeah, I'm doing all right, man. CTMZ with a 10 spot. Appreciate you, brother. Says, never say never, bro. Be blessed. Oh, thanks, man. That's very kind of you. And then you followed up with 5 gifted memberships. Holy. Appreciate the love, man. Mr. Jazz 212, better change that number, says, have you seen the huge positive reception for Coogler's Sinners is getting? I think Marvel Studios should give him more work. I mean, so I've seen that it has a really high Rotten Tomato score, but didn't it also only have like 45 reviews? And the thing I heard was that it's not even screening in certain cities. So the screenings were very selective to try to make it look as good as possible. I mean, look, here's what I'll say about Sinners. I think the movie looks incredible. I don't like horror, so I'm not going to see it. But the movie looks incredible. Like, just some of the shots, some of the things, I'm like, damn, like, that looks really, really good. I also just found out that Coogler has a very interesting deal with Warner Brothers where the ownership of this movie after 25 years will revert to his estate and no longer be controlled by Warner Brothers. I think that's incredible. Very savvy of him to make that kind of a deal. But also that kind of brings some interesting questions as far as like how much will this film actually be promoted? How much will Warner Brothers put behind it if it is indeed not permanently theirs? That's quite interesting. So, I mean, I would say, it doesn't look like the movie's going to make a lot of money, but maybe that's not as important. I don't know. It seems like this is a sort of just a cultural art piece for Coogler and a passion project, and also really interesting business, the fact that it reverts back to him. So, yeah, I'm not really on the Sinners hype train, but I definitely respect Coogler, the body of work, the business. Yeah, that's cool. Vandal the Black says, Minecraft Rocky Horror Picture Show on steroids. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? I don't know. It's, I mean, I'm fascinated by it. It looks like total slop to me, you know? I bet it's a fun time. Obviously, people are having fun with it. I think it speaks to, creating an event and capturing the zeitgeist and, the younger generation a little bit. Certainly that's something that's occurring. And maybe it's a successful enough formula that other people will shift into that. I'm not really sure. But, Deadpool and Wolverine, I really don't think Deadpool and Wolverine's a good movie, but it was an incredible experience. It was so fun. And I do think Marvel should be focused on that a little bit more, really having fun and creating really fun experiences for everybody. George Hemble says, Minecraft movie Standing on Business. Great movie. Stay mad, Josh. I know you've seen it and you're just mad you enjoyed it. Much love. Nerd Avengers for life. Nah, fam. But hey, maybe I will. Maybe I'll check it out. I will also say, you know what I did actually watch yesterday? Den of Thieves 2. And that's after we watched Den of Thieves, the first one, just the other week, and we almost finished Den of Thieves 2. That movie is really good, dude. I really like it. And, I'm blanking on the dude's name, but Ice Cube's son, man, that dude can act, bro. I don't know what Kenobi was. Probably not his fault at all. Kenobi was a total disaster. But that dude can act, man. And I really liked Den of Thieves and Den of Thieves 2. O'Shea, he's got chops, bro. He's got chops for sure. Henny Boo Boo says, never played Minecraft, but I just texted my buddy to borrow a live chicken so I can bring it to the theater. Feels like it'll be Gen Z's Rocky Horror. No, I'm picking up what you're setting down there, bud. And good luck with chicken in the theater. That'll be absolutely awesome, I'm sure. These poor theater owners, man. These poor theater workers, these poor theater owners. Imagine because let's be real, they're desperate at this point, right? So imagine being so desperate that you're going to let the TikTok brain rot generation come in and chicken jockey all over your face. Jesus. I don't know. I don't know, brother. It's wild. Braden says, Star Wars is dead. Marvel hates us. Anime won't ever hate us, Josh. Anime is obviously doing great while a lot of Western stuff is floundering. So, you're not wrong there. Appreciate the love, man. 34 Virgo says, normal audience will only tap in to a must watch. Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably a good way to say it. And a lot of Marvel stuff is just not must watch right now. But I'm even concerned with Fantastic Four. What happens if Fantastic Four makes $400 million? You know what I mean? Wow, that's not good. So yeah, we'll see. John Cross says, if you do a watch party for just episode 1 of Andor 2, I won't mention the number 12 for 2 months. Nah, man. Tomorrow will be the last watch party ever. And look, here's the thing. I know it's an entertaining thing and you guys enjoy it, but it is legitimately not how I want to make content. I'm not I have no filter, and I'm definitely a harsh critic, and I don't want to do it anymore. So I'd rather just enjoy it on my own, and we could talk about it the next day. You know what I mean? Optimus Prime Ribs says, let's replace Jason Voorhees with Vader and have a good slasher. Chi ha ha ha. Yeah, no, that's literally my thoughts on what they're doing, and I hate it. I'm just that is the stupidest. No. That ain't it, brother. Not to me. Locationary says, what if they just made good horror? Oh, wait, they can't. So they need to hijack franchises to attract fans. That's my feeling. Yeah, that's my feeling. And it's like a focus group corporate decision, right? Horror's really cheap. Horror's making good money for other studios. Star Wars horror. You know what I mean? Oh, my God. Joshua Campbell Bluegrass says that Doom leak got me laughing my ass off. So fake. I know, right? I mean, I think it's pretty obviously fake. But whatever, man, you know? Joshua Campbell Bluegrass follows up and says, we should do a deep dive in Sue Storm's Badonka Donka. Absolutely agree with you. I think that's on the agenda, 100%. Ryan says, damn, that Fantastic Four marketing is good. So many people are saying this won them over on the movie. What the fuck? How? Am I crazy? Oh my goodness, man. I mean, hey, I want the movie to succeed. You know, so Overbound says, what side of the Lucasfilm split is Dave on? I mean, it's hard to say, but I would like to believe that he is not on the side of like, yeah, I don't think he considers, if he still thinks of Star Wars as sacred and of an extension of what George created, then there's just no way he's on the side of like, let's commoditize this thing to the point that it loses its identity. Right? But I don't know exactly what's going on over there. So some of it's speculation. John Cross says, MC is the only family movie until Lilo and Stitch late next month. King of Kings will come up a bit because of the Easter, but Minecraft is going to get close to 1 billion. That's actually a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of competition. Fair to bring that up. Holy shit, it's making 1 billion. I can't fucking believe it. RM with a $50 holla. Appreciate that, man. That ain't cheap. Says, I think Marvel/Disney employees are stuck in an echo chamber, listening, agreeing with themselves that ideology should prevail over quality and cohesive storytelling, convinced that people who favor storytelling are ridiculous. That's the only explanation. Well, I don't think that's the only explanation, but I think a lot of what you're saying is probably true, especially when it comes to like Kathleen Kennedy and, you know, the culture that she's created over there. I mean, you don't get the ire of the South Park guys just without doing something, right? So I think that, you know, Kathy and the culture that she created reached a literal level of South Park parody, and that was a really interesting, what should have been a watershed moment, and yet it just seems like it only emboldened her more or something, right? So it's like really weird. Of course, a lot of them are in an echo chamber, but I know for a fact that not everybody at Lucasfilm has been down with a lot of these things, and a lot of the employees over there are frustrated with this stuff, right? So at some point, we have to understand that not all of these people have the control, and a lot of these people worked with George for years. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard for me to believe that like Doug Chang or like some of these other people would just so obviously flip into like a weird fixation on identity politics. I also think that it's not just that. It's death by 1,000 cuts, right? And it's quality, it's budgets, it's all sorts of things. So Lucasfilm has failed in like almost every imaginable way. But yeah, I mean, obviously I think the identity politics thing is obviously a big problem. I mean, it's so clearly, at the very least, a lightning rod for controversy and abrasive to a large portion of the audience that, whether you agree with them or not, it is so clearly a barrier for them to enter and have fun with these things. So just from a strict business perspective, I think it's obviously a mistake. There was a time where perhaps it was a little bit more understandable, right? There were certain things happening in the world, and maybe it felt like that was the right switch in and pivot or whatever. So I frankly think it's a more complicated issue, but I think the culture war stuff is still like the lowest hanging fruit, and so it gets the most attention out there. that actually leads me to even more so believe that it is a stupid hill to die on because of that very factor. So it's like, in some ways, I agree with you, but it's more like they need to stop because it will cause people like you to have a reaction, right? So I hope that made sense. I actually don't think it's as simple as like, get woke, go broke. I think that's so silly, you know? The Barbie movie is one of the wokest things I've ever seen. It was the top movie that year. It's just not true. But there's a difference between what Barbie did and what Kathleen Kennedy did and what Marvel has done, and it's a case-by-case basis. There's a lot of different factors. There's truth in what you're saying. Yeah. Tim O'Brien, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Holy, very generous, man. Darth, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Holy, appreciate it, man. Bianca with 5 gifted memberships. My God, that's a lot of members. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Randon says, I worry about Fantastic Four. I don't think those characters are as popular as Marvel wants them to be. No, they're not. And Doctor Doom is, and that's why Doctor Doom was the villain of all the other versions in the movies. Now, they have their own reasons from going away from Doctor Doom, and I would say Galactus is an incredible second pick, and that's going to be really cool. But yeah, man, I do think there's a lot to worry about. I mean, look, even if none of these things were happening to the Fantastic Four movie, like as far as, you know, the changes to Johnny, no Doom, some weird, just feels a little weird. Thunderbolts legitimately looks incredible, and it might not perform at all. So, like, Marvel might be paying for their sins over the past couple of years in real time right now. So, I'm concerned about Fantastic Four, not so much because those things are really going to blow up, but because people just might be tired of it, man. They just might be over it. And is Fantastic Four must watch? Is a movie in a literal different universe than your main MCU a must watch MCU movie? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Rossi says with a $5 holla, Joshua Lucas, I hope you reconsider the Ahsoka Season 2 watch parties. I probably will reconsider them at some point, but right now, no. It's what made me a paying nerd venture. It was my favorite time. I hope you reconsider. Yeah, I understand, man. Look, anytime I make a decision, it's going to upset certain folks. Certain folks might like it or whatever, so I totally get it. But I just, I don't think so. Purple Funk says, longtime Ranch Venger here. And I have to say, I agree with decision about watch parties. Possibly an after show for Ahsoka Season 2 if it slaps. Now, that I could do. I could watch the show, collect my thoughts, and then go live. Yeah, that could work. But then again, we'll see. Shockwaves Lab says, hey, Josh, I came across a spoiler/leak for Thunderbolts, and it's regarding how Sentry is defeated. If it turns out to be true, the movie is cooked. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you, but the way Sentry is defeated is terrible. But it doesn't matter. I mean, the movie's not tracking well either way. Yeah, I mean, look, dude, I don't know what to say. Marvel's just, I mean, did Kevin Feige get body snatched? Basically, it's Taekwondo, guys. Taekwondo defeats the Sentry. Crazy. Vandalf the Black says, Dromond Cass, a storm-riddled planet full of Sith spirits, possesses treasure hunters killed off one by one. A Jedi hiding amongst them seals the temple. I have no idea what you're talking about. Sounds cool, though. That definitely sounds cool. I just have no idea what it means. Den of Taekwondo, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Anyway, what else is on your mind? Can we talk a little bit about Marathon, guys? How many of you guys watched the stuff for Marathon over the weekend? Josh is lost in the sauce? Maybe. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. So, what even is Marathon? Let me explain it. So, Marathon is a new, well, I guess it's kind of a revitalized IP from Bungie, the creators of Halo and Destiny. And this was actually a game they made like back in the 90s. And they've brought it back with a new art style. And I think, there was a lot of hype for this reveal because it's Bungie. Everybody played Halo, man. Everybody, a lot of people checked out Destiny and liked it. Destiny still has a pretty good fan base. And Marathon's like the new Bungie thing. So there's a lot of hype built up. They've done a lot of clever marketing. And on Saturday, they had a little live stream and a showcase of different gameplay. You got to see different streamers playing the game. A lot of stuff like that. So I thought it looked cool. And I got excited for it. But I think it's also fair. And let me just make a small admission here. I am a person that really likes hype, and I'm a person that really appreciates aura, as the kids call it, aura. And I think it's probably fair to say that Marathon is more hype and aura than like technically mind-blowing gameplay or anything like that. And for some people, like, I'll sort of steelman the argument against the game. And I think here's the main issue. It is supposed to be like a $40 game, full price. I guess that's not full price, but it's not a free-to-play game, right? So it's supposed to be a $40 game that has one kind of game mode, and that's extraction. So it's a lot like Tarkov, if you've ever played that. There are other extraction shooters out there. And so the game has one game mode, and there's no proximity chat. They just announced. It seems a little bare bones as far as what a AAA shooter could provide. Like, from what I understand, some of the complaints are, this is crazy because there are already games that do this mode and other modes and have so many more options. There are games like that have even bigger servers where you can have more people in there. And for this game to be full price $40, it seems like kind of a ripoff. I think that's what some people are basically, that's their gripe, or that's their concern with the game. And like, while I understand that, I don't know, man. I think there is something to be said for deciding what you are and doing what you are really, really well. The people that really like Marathon say that the gameplay is just crispy, super smooth, very competitive. People said it reminded them a lot of Apex Legends with the movement and the gunplay, which is very Halo, And the art style, I think, is really cool, and the hype is cool. I was a big fan of when Bungie was making Halo 2 and Halo 3. They would do a lot of vlogs, and their studio and what was going on in the studio was almost a part of the marketing for the game. And so to me, it was very nostalgic to like be back with Bungie people in their environment and the fun interaction with the community, the puzzles, like all of this kind of stuff, I think is fun. Now, I think it's also fair to say that maybe that's marketing and hype. And if you just put the game up against other games, you might be like, this is just falling a little short for like a $40 game. But at the same time, it is in an alpha state right now. So I'm absolutely certain there's so much more for them to show and to reveal. So I don't know. I mean, if I were the Bungie team, I'd probably be feeling a little weird after the weekend because, like, for real, a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of criticisms. But if they can take those criticisms and provide some answers and some explanation, maybe walk back a couple of decisions, like just toggle off voice chat, proximity chat. Like, what are we doing here? That's crazy. Show us that there's a little bit more depth talk about the potential for other modes in the future. Like, I don't know. I think there's a way to approach this differently. You know, it kind of goes into some of the discussions we had last week where we talked about how fandoms these days are considered more toxic than ever. And fans certainly have a bigger voice than ever. They're able to organize better. They're able to impact whether it's the hype or the actual sales for a thing more than ever. Companies got to start to understand they're going to have to work with these people. You're going to have to figure that relationship out. I don't think there's a positive way forward without it. I mean, again, look at Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals has been super receptive to stuff. They've patched stuff in hours. They've walked back decisions. Like, they walked back, I forget the one, but it was the mid-season rank fall. They were going to do this thing where in the mid-season, everybody loses ranks again, and everybody got really butthurt about it. They scrapped it within a day. So, like, that's an example of a studio and of a dev team that's really in touch with their player base, very responsive. Like, I'm just saying, like, in a sea of studios and companies and IP that are not doing this shit right, that are falling badly, there are examples of companies and of dev teams and of, you know, just ways that companies, IP, systems, whatever it is, they're actually able to navigate this space. It's not impossible. It's not fucking impossible. Look at Invincible. Invincible's a great example. They're self-referential. They've changed. They've walked things back. They're very memey. Like, there's a right way to do this and there's a wrong way to do this. And I think Disney is just so far in the wrong in the ways that they do this. But yeah, I was just curious. Did any of you guys, how are you guys feeling about Marathon? Did anybody really excited? Anybody think it's lame? Let me know in the chat. Raji says, if you don't do the Ahsoka watch party, I guess I'll watch it with Theory. You always get so close to being my #1 YouTuber and then F it up. Much love. Hey, I can't be everything for everybody. You know what I mean? Looks super lame, says Crimson. Rip off Apex, says Xavier. Wow. Wow. I think it looks cool, man. I love the art style. RM says with a $20 holla, hoping there's a tie-in with 616 Doctor Strange, making the charting in the 60s reference with 838 Reed in Multiverse Madness. Dreamwalking is an interesting concept they should continue to explore and shouldn't be limited to Strange. Oh, I agree. I think there's a lot of room to do cool things with that concept. And I wonder if Doctor Doom himself will be doing any of it. He's an incredible sorcerer. So he would have the knowledge, the ability to do it in the comics. Doom has studied the Darkhold before, too. So why not? Why not? Extraction shooters need something not realism. Interesting. Interesting. Marathon sounds like a new anthem. Well, you know what's funny is, like, it absolutely could go that way. And that's, I mean, I think Bungie should be really nervous because audiences are so fickle these days. I could see this thing bombing. I could see Marathon closing in a year. Like, if they don't do it right. But isn't that kind of exciting? Like, I know that's crazy and you probably feel super nervous if you're a dev or whatever, but that you live and breathe on the edge of the razor right now. You need to make this thing better if you want it to pop. Because you got to understand it hit and people were divided. That's just what it is. So it's on them. I mean, frankly, I won't really lose sleep over it. If Marathon bombs and it goes away forever, it's fine. I don't really care. But if it is really successful and it's really fun and I can get a lot of gear over time and have a lot of fun with my friends, I will be so down. I mean, I love the hype stuff, the puzzle building, all of that. I'm willing to be a nerd. Like, I'm willing to engage and get really nerdy with your shit. But also, The next thing's coming down the pipe. Like, if your shit doesn't pop, I'm not going to cry for you. I'm just going to move on to the next thing. That's where audiences are at. Maybe that's what's going on with Marvel, frankly. Yeah, I know. Braden Thompson says, tell me how Sentry gets defeated so I can return my ticket. I don't know for sure how it happens, but I mean, what do you think's going to happen? You know? Just take a guess. You're probably not that far off. Holy. Star Wars just announced a new game? Oh, yeah? What's that? What's this new game? Should I do a video on the Fantastic Four leaks, guys? Should I just go over the whole fucking leaks and just be like, Jesus? What's the Star Wars game? I don't see it. I don't see no Star Wars game. I don't see no Star Wars game news. Yeah. On Twitter? Well, tag me on Twitter or something. Link me on Twitter. Ew, it's turn-based. Oh, yeah, Benjamin, because you can't handle fucking strategy. You know what else is turn-based? Chess. Checkers. Uno. Poker. My God. My God, Benjamin. The Star Wars horror EU book is Red Harvest. I've never read it because I'm not a big horror movie guy. Dash loved it. I love a kid's studio horror movie. Well, dude, I mean, that's what it is, right? Like, and I understand, like, you know, Dash is a big EU guy. A lot of EU guys probably have a different take on it. I'm more of a purist. You know, I'm a purist to Uncle George. Empire at War. I mean, I've heard Empire at War is incredible, dude. Incredible. Star Wars equal dead-ass franchise. I mean, you're not wrong, but I think that when you realize that Daredevil Born Again is not charting at all, and Acolyte did, I mean, is Star Wars really a dead franchise? Star Wars is so mass appeal big. And maybe what they're doing will work. Like, maybe they're going to just root out all the fans like me, and it'll be all of these fans that'll eat up whatever. You know? Like, I'm willing to admit that Star Wars could have a bright future, and I still could not think it was right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I might be like, oh, dude. Like, imagine if Tony Gilroy gets the president's job. Then I'm, like, all the way out. Like, I'm all the way out. But I could also see that being successful. I mean, you never know. Oh, Zero Company. Oh, yeah, we heard about this. This is probably going to be great. Respawn Bit Reactor? Hell yeah. Let's see here. Let's look at this. I mean, it's EA, right? That's a little worrisome. Let's check it out. Let's look at this together. Company Zero. Wow. Tune in Celebration April 19th for first look. Okay, so that'll be Saturday. I mean, this is so exciting here, dude. You know, look, say what you will about Marathon, but I think they approached this part of it better. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. All right. Anything else on your mind, chat, before we get out of here? Anything else you want to talk about? What else? Is that a clone? Yeah, there's a clone there. Looks like a Mandalorian, a clone. Cassian Andor. Looks like a young Plo Koon. And then some dude that looks like he came out of Mass Effect. The Winter Shoulder says, considering her dimension powers, wouldn't America Chavez be hugely important character during Doomsday and Secret Wars. Doom could use her. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think that was a part of the plan that they were building her up for. We'll see what it translates into. Yeah, I think there's more with that, more to do with her. Yes. We'll see. We'll see, man. I mean, I didn't mind that character as much as a lot of you guys did. You know, I didn't mind America. And I'll say this, too. The MCU America Chavez is so much better than the comic book Chavez. The comic book America Chavez is like, whew. That's some tough reading. That is not good. Super flagrant. Like, ugh. And I thought the gal that played her in Multiverse Madness was actually pretty good. Why is Harry Potter? Oh, I don't know, brother. I don't know. Crazy times, huh? America Chavez didn't get a chair. Oh, that's true. No chair for her, huh? What a bummer. So sad. So sad. Do. Dude, the Supergirl leaks look so cool. I'm really excited for that one, man. 100%. I think that's going to be really fun. Supergirl! We're all in on the DCU now, baby. There is no comparison. Marvel had mills of motherfuckers watching chairs. Mid-ass bitch Star Wars could never do that. Anyway, 49 months with you, old man. Hey, appreciate you, Justin. Thanks, man. That is a long time. 49 months, my God. Look, I know what you're saying, and I think Marvel still has the sauce insofar as there is sauce to be had. But I'm just saying, like, bro, look at Minecraft. Like, I don't know. I feel like people are yearning for something different, which is why Warhammer is going to succeed so much. I really think Warhammer is seriously about to just shove its way into the zeitgeist and never look back. I went out yesterday. I went around to like Exchange. I went to Goodwill. I went to the old local bookstore, and I was looking for like Warhammer stuff. And man, you go into Exchange and there's like no Warhammer, and it's filled with pop culture. Warhammer will never get to Marvel levels, brother. I'm telling you right now, I think it's going to happen. I legitimately think it's going to happen. I think we're about to see something crazy. What would you do if Warhammer fails? Well, I think what you mean is, what will I do if the live action Warhammer stuff is not great? I don't think Warhammer will fail. Warhammer has had, over the past 5 years, Warhammer has been absolutely crushing it. It's bigger than ever. They're doing more sales than ever. I don't know what the market cap is for GW, but I mean, that stock is, look at that stock compared to Disney. It's crazy. So Warhammer's not going to fail, but it is possible. Like, it's totally possible the Hollywood version doesn't work, or it doesn't break out the way that Marvel did. And there are certain things that could hold it back. But I think I think it could be a timing thing. Like, I guess what I would ask is, like, why do you think it's getting so popular already? Because Hollywood doesn't come a knocking unless there's buzz. So why do you think it's already growing so much while other franchises are not? And I would tell you, there's actually a few good reasons why. And I think those reasons will continue to be there despite how the live action stuff goes. But if the live action stuff crushes it, bro, look out. Like, seriously, look out. What was Game of Thrones before that show? Pretty popular fantasy that nobody heard about. You know what I mean? A good Hollywood adaptation can literally change a person's life. It can change the trajectory of an IP of a franchise. So hopefully that's what we're getting. Winter Shoulder says, T-Bolts go into the Void Realm and talk Bob down. The end. I mean, maybe. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, no, did you guys notice I framed the poster? If you're listening on the podcast, you're just going to have to take my word for it. Frame the poster, looking great, crispy in here, nice and clean. Hell yeah. All right, everybody. I really appreciate you. Thanks for being here, man. Monday show, Monday show. A lot of little news, nothing crazy today, but I had a good time. Hope you had a good time as well. Learned a little bit, got entertained. Hope I didn't trigger you too badly. And in all seriousness, I really appreciate your viewership and your support. Thank you. And we'll be back at it tomorrow. Maybe a video later today. Probably not. Probably video tomorrow. I'm tired. But videos throughout the week, and tomorrow night we'll watch that Daredevil episode. Man, I hope it's great. And other than that, guys, really appreciate you. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Film Comics Explained dropped a 40-minute lore video on the Ultramarines. People should check it out. Ooh. That sounds dope. Check that out. Hell yeah. Thanks, Rousey. Oh, another happy landing. So about an hour and a half before the show, I was like, brother, what the fuck am I going to talk about today? And I'm just like, oh my God, you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to see what's out there, and we're going to have to yap for a living. So that's what we did. And I hope you enjoyed that yapping, baby. Just trying to keep you entertained, man. Trying to move this shit along. Monday, set the tone. Hell yeah. Appreciate you guys. And yeah, we'll be back at it. A lot of stuff being worked on behind the scenes. Unity people, check out the Discord when you get a second. We move. We move. Okay. Remember, open up that third eye and wash out that stinky butt. Oh.